Not a Date. Written by M.J. Roberts. Published by Eminent Press, New York. Narrated by Max White. Chapter 1. With last week's promotion, Ryan was now my direct boss. This was good. And bad. Good because, oh yeah, now I get to stare at him from up close instead of from afar. It was bad because it is not good to lust after your boss. Who knew if he was even gay? He was chief architect in our huge office. Did I say huge? One can hope. Bad. Down boy, bad. A huge office with not one hint to his life outside of work. Not one photo of a friend or family. Not one decoration that was tell. I'm the marketing guy. I mostly do copywriting to sell the new building projects, but I do a lot of other stuff. And now, I'm directly under Ryan, so to speak, which is a big deal for someone who is only 26. However, Ryan is the kind of cool, crisp brunette hunk that could put world leaders and GQ models to shame. And around him, I'm completely tongue-tied, which is not like me. So, I've been taking orders and keeping my mouth shut, which has gotten me exactly nowhere. If I did something wrong, anything, I could end up losing my job. Or worse, having to face Ryan every day, maybe for years, eating crow, humble pie, humiliation, eating my gaydarville gone wrong. He's too beautiful to be straight. He's too haunting to be on the wrong team. But still, I'm a chicken, and so far, I've done nothing. Now, I've been working for Janowski & Sons for 3 years. I've seen Ryan at the break room, and at the water cooler, and at company functions. When you work for someone for that long, you feel like you know them. But the truth about your work acquaintances is, you don't really know them. Even though my right hand may have or may not have, never mind. Ryan was a crazy good architect, great dresser, got along with everyone, polite to a fault. Never mentioned a girlfriend, but never mentioned a guy either. Never gave me an opening, so to speak. Up until this week, I worked in a small cubicle way down the hall. Now, I had a big desk in an open space almost directly across from his big glass office, right in his sight line. Good. And bad. In other words, oh fuck. Concentrating on work was a little harder than before, and I really didn't want my performance to go down, so to speak. You could tell a lot about a guy by his performance. But I don't think I've ever wanted something so much. Time to grow some. There's a saying, do nothing, get nothing, which is why I walked in today and said, Ryan, I have 2 tickets to see Winston Marsalis Jazz Orchestra on Friday at the festival. Wait, he said before I could finish. Jake, he said. Ryan stood up and held up his palm in the universal sign for stop, and I stopped mid-sentence. He walked around me and closed the door to his office. Then he came back and stood in front of me. Are you asking me out on a date? His voice went up a lot at the end. No, I said, backtracking. A lot. No, I said. I'm doing a report on this concert for the Armstrong, Malcolm, and Charleston Liberty News, I said. A paper or e-zine or blog that I had just made up. And I have an extra ticket, and I could really use someone with an artistic sensibility to go with me and give me their opinion. You know, someone like an artist or an architect or a jazz fan or... I struggled to think of something that might say boss or gay or be a huge ego-stroking compliment, but I came up with nothing. It's not a date, I finished lamely. I can use an extra pair of ears to sample it if you're interested, but if you're not... I turned toward the door. I'm interested, Ryan said, drawing the word out. My eyebrows shot up.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?